In this next video, we're going to talk about the 4 reasons why Tesla Model 3s don't depreciate. And of course, this is a shout out to Paul Foss. He wrote this article, so we're going to take a look at it. And it goes into a little bit of the depreciation of Tesla vehicles, more specifically the Model 3. And this is a big thing because this is why buying Teslas versus other vehicles versus BMW 3 Series and all that other stuff doesn't make, or buying a Tesla Model 3 makes that much more sense on top of everything else for your wallet and also my wallet. So we'll talk about it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel, but more on that later. All right, so let us take a look at this. Shout out to Paul Foss again for writing this. It's a shout out on Clean Technical. Quote the title, a deep dive into Tesla depreciation. So it talks about all the different reasons on why the Tesla Model 3 hasn't depreciated as much. And if you take a look at all the different things, of course, the first thing is the Tesla Model 3 came out in 2018, 2019, thereabouts. And also there's also been a lot of demand for Teslas across the board, especially for the Model 3 and the Model Y. But taking a look at some of this versus some of the competitors, we've got Toyota Camry Hybrid, we've got BMW 3 Series. But at the end of the day, in conclusion, Paul, and also I would agree with a lot of these, this is the reasons why Teslas do not depreciate as much besides the hype and everything with that. The first one is Tesla allows existing cars to get new features of the newest cars with over-the-air software updates. And that's basically true. And that kind of keeps the vehicles fresh. It keeps them new and exciting. And so it doesn't feel like when you buy a Tesla, it doesn't feel stale. It doesn't feel as old because you keep getting newer features. And like most people, when we're driving our vehicles, besides the steering wheel, we interact with the UI, the infotainment system, the entertainment system a lot. So having new features that you can rave about to your friends keeps you excited and keeps you in the car at the end of the day. Number 2, Tesla batteries have a good reputation and warranty. And this is also another good thing. I mean, I remember back in the day when the Model 3 first came out and we had the 2019 Model 3, very shortly after we got another update in where we got more extra range from that. And so it was really cool to see that Tesla not only stands behind their batteries with a really good warranty and protects it from any sort of warranty degradation, they also able to make software updates so that you get more range at the end of the day. Number 3, the Tesla Model 3 requires almost no significant maintenance costs except tires. This is similar to Toyota gas vehicles and in stark contrast to Model 3 to BMW vehicles. This is 100% correct because it is starting to get out, I think, a little bit slower at this point that Tesla's, it makes the most financial sense in terms of a maintenance cost. And that's probably why you see, if you ever come to California or if you're in Los Angeles already, it's basically a sea of Teslas. I mean, of course, there's state incentives and federal incentives on top of that. And also it's a pretty much a good place to own a Tesla because there's a lot of superchargers and also good climate for not losing too much battery range loss in the wintertime. But it also makes a lot of sense. And the one thing is, like, I did want to kind of poll and see what types of buyers are buying these Teslas. And it's people that love technology and also probably people that love money in their wallet because you just don't spend as much cost. And of course, if you've driven any sort of luxury vehicle like BMW, probably Mercedes, you're used to going to the service shop and paying $100 to $200, maybe $300 for an oil change. And you can go on and on about all the different maintenance costs at the end of the day. Number 4, Tesla hasn't changed the styling except for changing Chrome to Chrome Delete. This point may change with the coming release for the Project Highland Model 3. And that's a pretty big point on why Tesla Model 3s don't depreciate as much currently, because it's essentially still within the life cycle. So a 2018 still looks the same as a 2023, but that kind of adds to why there is essentially an inventory problem right now with this many Model 3s still sitting in the inventory, over 700 in the US, and Tesla is probably scrambling just a little bit. How can we sell these potentially stale Model 3s out of inventory, because there is an Osborne effect right now happening on top of like an affordability problem where people can't essentially buy these vehicles, and on probably a price cannibalization problem because the Model Y is just way too close to the price of the Model 3 in terms of only a couple $1,000s more, or even maybe even $1,000 less, with the Model Y long range being $1,000 less than the Model 3 long range. But that could all completely change if this Model 3 3 long range, which some people are speculating this is a Model 3 Highland, the refresh, the ones that's been leaked and that you've been seeing already that may even potentially be starting in production next month, at least from the rumors of China. So that could completely change, because if that happens, if a new Model 3 refresh comes out, I mean, most likely it's not going to be a drastic refresh. It's going to be just like how the older Model S's are to the current ones, with just slight updates and anything like that. So I don't think it's going to hurt the depreciation of the older Model 3s that much, because people still want Tesla vehicles, especially used vehicles, new ones, all this, that, and other. But definitely it has an effect to the depreciation of the vehicles, and that could hurt the Model 3 depreciation in the near future. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know if there's something that we missed on, or Paul or I missed on the other reasons on why Teslas have just not depreciated as much in the past or currently. But shout out to Paul Foss for writing this article. Definitely an interesting one, and shout out to Clean Technica for posting it. We're going to jump into the last topic, but before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me, where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources that we use to get the best possible deal at the best financing rate, including credit unions and banks on that list that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing, lower than Tesla's 5.59%. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. And as an added benefit, I do respond to all Patreon DMs or direct messages at a certain level. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description.